East Tampa is indeed home to long-standing communities with rich roots. In the present, the area of East Tampa is undergoing something of a transformation through new development. The city has launched the East Tampa 5-year redevelopment initiative, which was initially conceptualized during the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. It seeks to address community concerns and rebuild the East Tampa community area. The program has a heavy emphasis on beautification efforts and transformation for the area in the sectors of housing, economy, and infrastructure. The input of the community is central to these plans. Contributions from community leaders and residents have formed the basis of what the initiative plans to do. In contrast to the outward image of a shiny new East Tampa, some residents have concerns beyond just beautification and renewal of infrastructure. Long-standing attitudes of mistrust towards the city and its prior broken promises of redevelopment are grounds for cautious optimism. Some community members see this newfound attention in the East Tampa CRA as an opportunity to not only restore but improve the living conditions of East Tampa. Important community needs such as ease to access to basic necessities such as local grocery stores has been a recurrent concern. Likewise, these infrastructure investments can result in improvements to the walkability of East Tampa by providing more mediary spaces and walkable roads. This reinvestment in East Tampa, however, does bring with it concerns over trends such as gentrification. New development may inflate the cost of living, forcing residents from their home. What the broader changes mean for East Tampa communities and their home has yet to be seen, as the plans are not fully realized. The East Tampa area has historically been subjected to environmental injustices that date back to the racialized prejudices of the past that continue to this day. Environmental injustice continues today through the past and continued placement of hazardous superfunds and aging infrastructure. These environmental injustices have long contributed to problems of chronic disease such as cancer and asthma. Many stormwater ponds dot the landscape of East Tampa, serving as sometimes unsightly products of necessary water infrastructure. These underdeveloped ponds offer the community little beyond protection from the rainy season. The idea of turning stormwater ponds into sites for the community has gained attention from prior successful transformation of ponds into community eco-parks. Redeveloped stormwater ponds such as Robert Cole Community Lake and Carrington Community Pond paint a bright example of what ponds can become. Pond redevelopment has been able to transform these traditionally ignored spaces into something special. Stormwater parks serve the community as sites of recreation where community is reinforced and given space to enjoy. We hope to highlight the current state of several East Tampa storm ponds and where the conversation around redevelopment is.
The community describes having lost a sense of neighborliness and the tight-knit community they used to be.
Okay, how would you describe like your neighborhood, how things look around it, the people?
It was a time when I first moved there, everybody was like real friendly and talkative, but now you see your neighbor, some you speak to you and some don't. So we must like kind of stay.
The neighborhood has been changing in the last couple years, with home prices increasing.
Your neighborhood's more renters now than owners?
Yeah, it is.
Did it used to be more owners than
More
renters?
owners, yeah, more owners. People die and the families sell the house, don't want it. The children don't want it, so they sell it. And buyers come in and just fix them up and rent them out. So that's how they do it now.
Do you feel like they probably rent them out for like a much more expensive price than what
Yeah.
they used to be?
Yes.
Many residents are feeling pressure to sell their homes amidst the new changes in the area.
So where I'm gonna go if you moved out, we was telling them this, if I give you mine, where I'm gonna live.
Exactly. Are people often trying to get you to move out?
Yeah.
Community members talk about a lack of green spaces in the area, with some of the few green spaces being stormwater retention ponds, some developed, some undeveloped.
Are there any parks around you?
Yeah, right in front
right.
of me. That's where the retention pond is.
Mm-hmm.
But you never see people in there. They have a fence around it, so you never see people in there. No kids go in there, so.
In interviews, the community expressed appreciation for the senior center they are a part of and hope to gain a new one dedicated to only East Tampa seniors.
The Bay Street Pond is a stormwater pond that is dry for some or all of the year and inaccessible to the public. Stormwater ponds like this are often not even considered ponds by residents of the communities that surround them. The Bay Street Pond is communally recognized as a pond but lacks documentation in either city or digital maps, being represented as a barren space. Like many of these ponds, the Bay Street Pond is completely fenced and many residents consider it to be an eyesore. Theresa Bennett describes the often dry ponds she lives next to.
Well, it's just there.
Mhm.
And once it dries out, you know how that is. You know, the pond is.
Mhm.
But you never see people in there. They have a fence around it, so you never see people in there. No kids go in there.
On the pond.
It's a fence around the park, and
Located on North 22nd Street and East Chelsea Street, the second studied stormwater pond has revealed a very interesting dynamic between the community and the things they are experiencing in this current moment. Some of the important features of the area include the Tampa Family Health Center, built in 2011, Middleton High School, diagonal from the North 22nd Street pond, and the Farrell Girls Preparatory Academy. There appears to have been an economic and environmental revitalization in the area as incomes have dramatically increased since the first documented survey in 2011. The pond is managed by the South Florida Water Management District and is completely fenced in and relatively full throughout the year. In 2018, the fencing was replaced and moved further out from the pond. Vegetation was harvested and the pond was included in a 28-day spray schedule to slow down and prevent vegetation growth. Additionally, it shows signs of significant eutrophication, which is a process that occurs when the nutrient concentration in the water is too high, causing nutrient-feeding algae to reproduce uncontrollably, giving the water a green color that prevents light from entering and depletes the water of oxygen. North 22nd Street is a major throughway. Many cars, pedestrians, bikes, and buses pass there every day, and many of the locals depend on them to move around. Taking advantage of the amount of people who pass through this street every day, the Coalition of Community Gardens developed the Healthy 22nd Street initiative to help residents of East Tampa gain easier access to healthy foods through gardening. Residents have voiced their concerns regarding the lack of access to recreation areas and parks, shops, barber shops, and most importantly, grocery stores. In conclusion, the pond and the area around it has potential to be turned into a revitalized area for the community. Several of the community members have started to see this, participating in the Home Garden Initiative and even sharing with the community. A great example of this is the food truck, which sets up at the pond every Saturday, offering locals a great space to chat while sharing great food.
The Clarence Fort Freedom Trail is a popular destination for residents in the area. The walking trail provides families and individuals a place to recreate. There are benches along the trail, but there is a noticeable lack of shade. In between the years of 2016 and 2018, a new playground was established for children in the neighborhood to enjoy. There is a railway line that runs directly against a portion of the walking trail, posing a danger. Neighboring properties near Clarence Fort are Milton High, which is located across the street and adjacent to the pond, including a petroleum storage facility owned by Palmdale Oil Company.
Robert Cole Community Lake is a stark contrast to the previously highlighted underdeveloped stormwater ponds. This storm pond turned park is a true transformation that offers recreational activities through inbuilt exercise equipment, plenty of shelter and foliage, and much needed green space. The Robert Cole Community Lake is additionally host to multiple educational installations that help to explain the functions of storm ponds. Parks such as the Community Lake and Carrington Community Pond can even serve to aid the problem of travel by providing a mediary space where traffic is of little concern. The surrounding area has experienced positive economic growth in the years since its construction, but there is no way to place the Community Lake as having played a significant role in the trend. Overall, this pond provides an example of a clean transformation from a storm pond into a reborn community space.
Carrington Community Ponds serves as a gathering place for the community with shaded areas, an aeration system, sitting areas, and a future community recreation center. Residents can be spotted around the pond throughout the last 15 years since its redevelopment, enjoying the benches and the outdoor improvements. The redevelopment of this pond has created a pleasant space for East Tampa residents, but there are continued struggles with retaining the community pond. The drinking fountain has rusted over, and there is a desire for more trees to provide shade, more benches and sitting areas, and a hope for construction of the new recreation center to finally begin.
Seniors who say it's long overdue. There's not enough accommodations.
That's been my prayer, to see this place do a service for the community.
The residents of East Tampa see a bright future for their vibrant community. Participants in the Jazzy Senior Community Program at Reagan Park provided insight into what exactly the community hopes for itself in the coming years. Stormwater ponds turned parks embody the future of East Tampa, a future that mimics the past, one of green neighborhoods, community pride, and neighborly support.
Dios mío.